Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update on the current situation here in Spain. Day 92 of the current situation. That's right, day 92. And the good news is that it seems to be coming to an end, or it will come to an end on Monday for at least one region here in Spain. And I'll tell you about that in just a tick. Firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments, lots of debate happening there as usual. A big thanks to the people that decided to support the channel. You can see your name here. Thanks to all of the people that bought merchandise, and a big thanks to my patrons on Patreon for your support. Now, let's get into some of the news. Now, as I said before, one area in Spain, one autonomous community has reached the new normal, and it is going into that phase tomorrow. And we can see here that Galicia has reached the new normal, and all of Spain will be in phase 3 on Monday, except Madrid, Barcelona, and part of Castilla y León. And we can see here on the map exactly where we are with these phases. So we have the different phases here, 0, 1, 2, 3, and the new normal. And as we can see, Galicia has reached that new normal stage. Madrid stays in phase 2, as does Barcelona and Lérida, and a few other areas in Castilla y León, Salamanca, Ávila, Segovia, for example, and the rest of Spain in phase 3. So I think we have to have a round of applause there for Galicia for reaching that new normal. And the rest of us are on our way. Now remember that the 21st of June is the date that has been set for the end of the state of alarm. Now apparently it's not going to matter even if your region hasn't finished phase 3. So for example, Madrid is scheduled to go to phase 3 on the 21st, but because that is the day that the state of alarm ends, it's going to be the new normal for the whole country. And we can see here, to answer a few questions, when the state of alarm ends, is travel across Spain possible? Yes, from midnight June the 21st, there will be no more national restrictions on mobility. That's to say, travel between regions will be possible without the need for justification. And can tourists enter the country from June the 21st? No. Although there is currently one exception, 10,900 Germans who will arrive to the Balearic Islands on Monday, other visitors will have to wait. Although Brussels is calling for interior borders to be reopened from June the 15th, Spain is taking a more conservative approach, however, and will not open its borders until July the 1st. So let's put this on a timeline. June the 15th, 10,900 Germans will arrive in Spain. Also, the European borders will open except for Spain. June the 21st, Spain ends the state of alarm, which means that we'll be able to travel around the country. There will be no more restrictions, no more phases. And then on July the 1st, Spain will open its borders to European tourists. So some good news there for people from other European countries that are looking to come to Spain this summer. July the 1st is the date for you, apparently. Now, a few videos ago, I mentioned that Benidorm has been a bit hesitant to reopen its beaches, and tomorrow the 15th is also the day that they are planning to do that. However, you're not going to be able to just throw your towel over your shoulder, put your flip-flops on and go to the beach in Benidorm. We can see here that you're going to need a previous appointment to bathe in Benidorm. The beaches of the Alicante town will be open to accommodate a maximum of 26,066 people, when the estimated total capacity is about 40,000. So 26,066 people allowed to go to the beaches in Benidorm. If you are numbered 26,067, bad luck. You're going to have to wait until the next day, and you'll have to reserve your access to the sand through a digital platform that will be implemented by the beach management concessionaire, although it will not be operational next Monday when the beaches will be open to the public. So again, a timeline. Tomorrow, Benidorm is opening the beaches. You're going to have an appointment, but the app is not ready yet. Now, Spain's Minister for Consumer Affairs, Mr. Garzón, looking for ways to increase Spain's coffers here, has said that it will be necessary to reduce the deficit through more income and not through spending cuts. So the government looking to increase incomes, don't know how they're going to do it. Most likely it's going to be by raising taxes, probably start to put a few taxes on things that we use here in Spain. For example, like the one they did on digital goods and other taxes that consumers get slapped with here in Spain. And most likely an increase in VAT or IVA will be on the cards as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, another piece of news that caught my attention is the possible elimination of cash here in Spain. The PSOE, which is the ruling party, is going to ask Congress to eliminate cash gradually. The Ministry of Finance plans to lower the maximum limit for cash payments from €2,500 to €1,000. Now remember here in Spain that cash payments are limited to €2,500. The government wants to reduce that to €1,000 and then eventually lead to what they call the definitive disappearance of cash here in Spain. Now I don't know about you, but I don't use a lot of cash anymore. The majority of my transactions are done with a card, debit card, credit card, etc. I also do quite a few payments on PayPal, so I don't use a lot of cash. But I don't know how realistic the complete disappearance of cash is. Do you have an opinion on this? Will cash disappear, or will we always be dependent on cash in some way, shape, or form? Leave it in the section below. Now, Barcelona yesterday gave us a bit of a taste of what the new normal is going to look like in Spain this summer, at least as far as beaches are concerned, when too many people yesterday went to the beach and they were forced to close access to 4 beaches because of the agglomeration of bathers or swimmers. The moment in which the video sensors installed to control the capacity have detected that a very high level of occupancy was reached, the swimmers were informed by a public address system. So there we go, video sensors at the beach. Once they detect that there's too many people on the beach, they tell people that they need to go home and the beaches are subsequently closed. So there's a look at the new normal for you. Now, as I said a little bit earlier, tomorrow is the day that 11,000 Germans arrive to Mallorca to test the island and to see if it is prepared to receive tourists this summer. But apparently, as we can see here, the Germans from the pilot program in the Balearic Islands are professionals who will assess security. So as we can see, they are false tourists, professionals who are going to come down and see if Spain is worthy of receiving German tourists this year. Now let's go and have a look at some of the comments from the last video. First one here from David. Hi Stuart, you made a comment about people might not want to come to Spain in summer if they have to wear a mask. Has there been any indication how long the wearing of masks will last? That's if the Brits are allowed in, of course. Great videos as always. I never miss one. Yeah, David, thanks for the comment. As I have said in previous videos, masks are now compulsory in Spain. If you cannot maintain a distance of 1.5 meters with another person, be that in a closed area or in the street. So let's say, for example, you go to a popular coastal destination here in Spain that is normally crowded with people, you're going to have to wear a mask in public. And of course, when you go into shops, restaurants, etc., if you can't maintain that space, you're going to have a mask on. Another thing is if you are sitting at a table and there is separation between the tables, and let's say, for example, you're sitting there with your friends or your family, you won't have to wear a mask in that situation. But of course, to enter the restaurant, probably yes. And of course, again, when you go back out into the street, into a crowded street, and you can't maintain that 1.5 meter distance, you're going to have to wear a mask. And the government hasn't said when this rule is going to end, but I think it's going to be in place for the next 6 months at least. One here from Graham. Hello, thanks for all your helpful information. I would just like to say that as much as Benidorm and Magaluf have a reputation for drunken Brits, that in my opinion things are a lot different now. I live in Magaluf, very close to what's known as the Strip. It's my opinion that young people have more disposable income and want more exclusive holidays. I have seen massive investment in establishments catering for more refined clientele and enjoying success. For sure there will be exceptions, but I think things are improving. Thanks again for all your info. Yeah, Graham, thanks for the comment. Good to see that places like Magaluf are starting to change. Hopefully other places around Spain will change in the future as well. There is a bit of a push here in Spain to eradicate that type of tourism, that drunken tourism that places like Magaluf or Benidorm or other places on the costas have been famous for. I know that there are parts of the government that want to try to change that. And maybe you're right, young people now are looking for a different type of holiday. And let's be honest, Spain has a lot of variety. There's lots of places that you can go to in Spain. You don't have to go to places like Magaluf. And if people are looking to come to Spain for a more exclusive holiday, then there's plenty of places around that can offer that. But again, that alcohol culture is going to be a little bit difficult to get rid of because of the cheap prices, especially for people coming from the north of Europe. Spain is a paradise from that point of view. One here from Lisa. Thanks so much, Stuart. Very interesting reading about Spain and Europe. Here in Australia, we have done extremely well containing and all but eradicating the virus. We are in no way considering opening our international borders yet. My daughter is hoping to be playing soccer in Spain this coming season, so I hope she can get there and be allowed into Spain and be safe. Yeah, hi Lisa, thanks for the comment. I know that Australia has done reasonably well trying to eradicate the virus problem. They have been extremely strict when you compare it to what's happened here in Europe. They shut down the borders quite early. Again, it was the end of summer. It wasn't the middle of winter like it was here. So you'll probably have to be a bit careful for the next few months to see how the situation pans out. But the good news for your daughter is that Spain is starting to open again, and she should be able to come here and play soccer. Of course, there could be some problems in the future, but the government's saying that they'll have the situation under control, so we'll have to put our faith in them. One here from Belinda. Hi Stuart, great update. I completely agree with your thoughts on Italy opening up to other countries perhaps too soon. Regarding Spain, is it really opening up its borders later than other countries according to the EU? It depends on how you look at it. The Germans arriving in the Balearic Islands on the 15th of June as an experiment is a way to open up the country after all. Yeah, Belinda, thanks for the comment. Spain is going to wait an extra 2 weeks after the rest of the European Union opens. Remember, Italy is already open and the rest are going to open up tomorrow, the 15th. Spain going to wait until the 1st of July because they want to have the situation more under control. And of course, as we saw, there are some German professionals coming down tomorrow to check out the situation and make sure that Spain is a secure place for its citizens to holiday this summer. So we'll wait and see if they give the green light for more Germans to come down, but July the 1st is the date that people will be able to cross the borders and come into Spain. One here from Alex P. Yes, to be totally honest, that 6-week lockdown in my house on my own had quite a strong negative effect on my well-being. Even now we are allowed out, I'm still shaken. We also half pretend it's over, but it's all still going on, of course. My head is not in the same place it was before all of this. It's kind of hard to describe, like some kind of mild depression. Definitely not back to 100% me again after this at all. Yeah, Alex, thanks for the comment. I had a few comments similar to this one. I had another one here from David, who said that after spending so much time alone, he's finding it difficult to go out. So thanks for the comment there, David, as well, and sorry to hear about your father. Now, just going back to Alex's comment where he said he's not 100% normal again, doesn't really feel like going outside. I'm sure there's lots of people in that situation. The lockdown here in Spain particularly tough, and I know around the world a lot of people have been suffering that change to their normal routine, and it is difficult to get back to normal. And to be honest, I'm sure there's a lot of people whose heads are not in the same place as they were before all of this happened. I, for one, do feel a little bit different. I have my worries about what's going to happen in the future, how bad the recession is going to be, how bad the unemployment market's going to be. I have all of those things running through my head all of the time, but we need to stay positive and hopefully everything will get back to normal sooner rather than later. And it's important that if you are feeling a little bit depressed and you are having trouble getting back to 100%, maybe you need to reach out for help. Don't be afraid. One here from Tim. Ola Stuart, thanks for the videos. They've been a lifeline for me with regards to reliable information throughout the lockdown, especially as a new Spanish resident in Madrid from South Africa. If you think Spanish politics is bad, you obviously haven't experienced the shit show in South Africa. The banging of pots is irritating, but I've watched more irritating shows on Netflix and survived. Thanks, mate. Hasta luego. Yeah, hi, Tim. Thanks for the comment and welcome to Madrid. I know that politics is bad all around the world. My biggest complaint with Spanish politics is the saturation that you get here in the media and the conversations that people have. So for example, yesterday we had people over for lunch and about 75% of the conversation was focused on politics. It's one of the number one conversations that people have. And where I come from in Australia, yeah, people talk about politics, but it's not the focus of things. People seem to have other things to talk about. But here, at least in my experience, people are too concentrated on politics, and the television, the radio, the media in general is just politics obsessed and football obsessed. And that's coming back now, so maybe it'll take the focus off politics. But that's my main gripe about politics here in Spain. One here from Mike. You can just tell these officials are just loving their newfound authority and are going to be reluctant to give it up. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Mike. I suppose you refer to the health authorities who have become the main protagonists in this around the world. I know that in Australia we're seeing the chief medical officers more than usual. Here in Spain, this Dr. Fernando Simon is the #1 star. There's even people wearing t-shirts with his image on it around now apparently, and he has been elevated to a status that was previously only for people like Ronaldo and Messi. Are they going to be reluctant to give it up? I don't think so. I think when the pandemic is under control, they'll go back to what they were doing before. They won't be so prevalent in the media, or at least that's what I'm hoping for. But I have heard other people around the world saying that they are power hungry and they want to keep that main focus on themselves by keeping the pandemic at the top of the list, but I don't know whether that's true or not. One here from David. Sorry, Spain Speaks, but re the recent upsurge of COVID cases brought from overseas. How did those people get here? No planes are flying anywhere. Please let me know. Well, David, there are planes coming into Spain. I live close to the airport and planes are coming across here at least 3 or 4 times a day. At least those are the ones that I hear. And they are bringing Spanish residents into the country. There are lots of Spanish citizens in the United States, apparently. There are also Spanish citizens in South America. All of those South American countries have a lot of people with Spanish passports, and they're allowed to come back because they have family members living here, and those have been the cases in recent times. Apparently there was one family that came from Peru, I think it was. All 3 of them were infected, and now all of the people that were on that plane have to be put into a strict quarantine. So those are the people that are coming into the country at the moment, residents or citizens of the country. One here from Jay Brown. Does anyone know when communal pools will open? I'm on the Costa del Sol. Yeah, hi Jay. Pools are allowed to open in Spain at the moment in phase 2. If you're in phase 2 or phase 3, communal pools are allowed to open. However, there are very strict rules in place, which means that a lot of pools are not going to open, or they're considering how to open with all of the new rules in place. For example, there's going to be limits of how many people can use the pools, security, and all of those things. And we can see here that in Madrid, only half of the community pools have opened their doors. The limitation of capacity to 30% and the increase in expenses keeps the 6,000 facilities closed at the beginning of the season. So pools are allowed to open. A lot of them are staying closed because there's an extra cost. And if it's a communal pool you're talking about inside your urbanization or your estate, it's going to depend on whether the residents in that community decide to open the pool or not, and whether they're willing to pay the extra costs that the pandemic has caused. And finally, one here from Player. What do you keep in your jars? Yeah, Player, thanks for the comment. I suppose that you are referring to those jars there, those 2 jars that I have. The answer is that I have coins in those jars. I have one for copper coins and I have one for gold coins. But as we saw before, the government is going to push for a cash-free society, so I better start spending the money in those jars. Now on that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.